It's Real Sports Time with me, D-MARL, on the Talk 100 Network, and this is NBA All-Star Weekend, an NBA All-Star Game going on right now at the tail end of the fourth quarter. Just jumping in to give you some play-by-play action. And again, this is Sunday evening. It's been a long weekend, and they're in Atlanta in the ATL playing the All-Star Game. Team LeBron versus Team Kevin Durant, who's actually sitting this one out. I got my partner J. Ralph from the Talk 100 Network in the house, in the building with me. What's going on, J. Ralph?
What up, though? What up, though?
Not too much, man. They getting it on here. What is it? 161, 144 here in this fourth quarter.
Yes, sir.
They're breaking it down quarter by quarter when they calculate the scores in each quarter. That's kind of how they're doing it. So what's it looking like to you? I mean, how does that? It's a little different. They do it a little bit different than obviously regular regulation.
Yeah, I think
basketball.
They did it like this the last year too, if I'm not mistaken. So they tally it all up in the fourth quarter. The first three, they started from zero. So that was just kind of crazy. I don't understand why they even do that.
Right. Is this a new format trying to make it more interesting? What's standing out to you with the in the East? Who's scoring as far as scoring? I seen some of these guys, they're still doing what they do.
Yeah, that Bradley Beal, man. I never really watched him play. But
okay, Bradley Beal, he's been definitely doing his thing. Damian Lillard is going crazy out there, 29 points. He just had a 25-foot step back three-pointer. And Tatum missed his shot.
Yep. Bradley Beal is sitting at, I think, 26 points.
Yeah.
But
Damian Lillard with another three-pointer. 32 points for Damian Lillard.
From the logo, baby.
I tell you, listen, LeBron, his score is low in this game, and that's because he wasn't trying to. He already said before the game he wasn't going to be trying to, overdo it and put it all out and go over the score thing. But I tell you what, from a GM perspective, he picked a good team, obviously.
He picked scores.
You got the scores. You got Dame Lillard. Steph Curry has about 30 points, if I'm not mistaken.
Man, that was so deep. It was like two steps over the half court. Dame time.
Right over barely got over the line.
Yeah, man. All scores. That's what LeBron picked. When he was first picking, I was thinking, man, they too little. But I was thinking that Kevin Durant was going to be playing too. I don't know what I was thinking. But then once he got down to the thick of things, it was like, wow, man, everybody can hit you for 60 points for the most part. So yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, and that's the wrap. That's a wrap.
Yeah. Now Luka, he didn't get a chance to get going. He just got 8 points.
Yeah, Luka got a good dunk though. Luka got a nice dunk.
Yeah, he got a nice one. And Giannis. And what about Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Yeah, Giannis. Giannis got to go all out. He got to prove that he's that guy. He really don't, but. He always in his mind go all out. It's because he can't win for real.
He reminds you of the younger LeBron James. I remember LeBron got so happy about winning the Team USA gold medal because hey, I didn't win a championship. Like this is a form of a championship, but
that's a big deal. USA is a big deal, and the way they promote it to them as a player, they make it so that you feel like, wow, I'm representing the whole country. He should have felt like that for that. But not an all-star game.
Absolutely. I agree. Yeah, that is the way to look at it. That is the way to look at it.
Yeah, Giannis was out there balling like, this was game 7 of the finals.
Right. So on Team Durant, you got Kawhi Leonard, low score for him. He got 8 points. Jason Tatum is 21 points. Zion Williamson, first NBA All-Star game, he's got 10 points. Mm-hmm. Bradley Beal, like you said, 26 points. Kyrie Irving got 24 points. And was it Zach LaVine? He's got 13 points. James Harden, 21 points. And Donovan Mitchell, he's got 15 points.
Oh, Julius got a couple in his first appearance at the All-Star game too, right? Julius Randle.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Jalen. And over on Team LeBron, Jalen Brown, 22 points. Paul George got 17.
28 for Curry. 32
28 for Curry,
Dame.
32 for Damian Lillard.
Yeah. And
And
see,
Giannis,
think about that. Damian Lillard and Giannis both kind of got a little more to prove to people. You know?
Correct.
So it makes sense for them to make sure that they have a big night tonight. They don't have nothing else. And I like Dame. You know?
I like Dame too, who pulled up for another 3. Yeah.
I'm saying I don't dislike Giannis, but, you know, I just see them as two people who they might not never get a ring.
Lest they actually make it to another team. Giannis, he's signed an extension with Milwaukee, but he may have to make a change after a couple of years. He may do it that way. And you know what? I'm not going to hold it against him. We know that's what happens all the time. Oh, man, he had to go over to another team to do it and team up with this person to do it. But, you know, they're already slapping this asterisk right now on James Harden, forced his way out of Houston, Texas, over there, and they built up a super team. I thought we was done with super teams, 3-way super team. James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving.
How many points did Kyrie
But they better play their butts off, because Doc Rivers has Joel Embiid, who also Joel Embiid, him and Ben Simmons. Speaking of those two, they came in contact with somebody with COVID. That's why we don't see them out there tonight, because Joel Embiid, he's going on the MVP run right now. He would have been out there balling tonight, I think. That's why we don't see them out there. It was announced before the game this afternoon.
So Joel and who else?
Joel Embiid, him and Ben Simmons both.
Oh,
they were in contact with somebody. I don't remember who they didn't say what it was, that had COVID. So they got to do the whole protocol.
Yeah,
so they had to get away. Yeah.
I didn't hear that one. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. That's why you don't see him.
Yeah, right. I was just looking for Embiid on the list. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. LeBron picked up Embiid. Oh, yeah.
All right, he sure did.
So, yeah, that's why we don't see those two out there.
12 minutes LeBron played, almost 13, 4 points. How many assists? 4 assists.
Right. So that final, he didn't go all out at all. Didn't really put for just a little facilitating, did a little bit of showing. He had one of his monster signature dunks, the little flying high dunk there. That was early on in that second quarter. That final score was what? 170, Team LeBron, 150.
Wow.
For Team Durant.
Who's the MVP? Giannis? Giannis was 100%. He was 16 for 16.
Wow. And you said he made a crazy 3 off the backboard.
Yeah, deep one too.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah. Are they announcing we're still waiting to see that?
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it now. They just, with their family and stuff, so they haven't announced it, but it was looking like Giannis. He was the top scorer. Him or Steph.
Him or Dame time.
Or Damian Lillard. Yeah, Dame was 50% from 3, 8 for 16. So they took a lot of shots, man. That's how you know that they was just playing. Their mind was a little bit different tonight. They had something to prove. I ain't clowning them. It's just a reality, man. It just makes sense. It's just the All-Star game, man.
It's just an All-Star game, but they wanted to have something to prove on. Hey, and I believe Dame Lillard really, he wanted to put his shooting ability, which we all know what it is, but he wanted to put it on display that, hey, even if y'all still got Steph Curry, of course, he's just the greatest shooter of all time that kind of took that whole mantle. Hey, Dame time has arrived. Man, as soon as he gets past half court, it's time to be scared.
Yeah,
it's time to be scared. It's like how some people feel walking down the street on the alley. Oh man, he's got a hood on, a black hood at that, and it's a black guy. It's time to be scared. That's the stereotype. That's how you got to feel about Damian Lillard. As soon as he get past half court, it's time to get scared.
Yeah, so they're announcing it now. Giannis got the Kobe Bryant Award. MVP.
I like that. The Kobe Bryant
Yeah.
MVP.
That's what's up. Now, are they still
Yeah,
talking
that is
about
what's up.
changing the logo to the Kobe logo?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, Kyrie Irving had brought that up. They're trying to get some steam on it and everything. I don't know. The commissioner hasn't responded. I don't think he really responded yet on yes or no, because of course he wouldn't want it to be a bad thing by saying no, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? In that kind of way. So the league didn't really respond at all. That's probably the best approach for them. That way they don't take a image hit on that from the late great Kobe Bryant or whatever else. Because I don't think they're really gonna do it. But I would love to see it.
Mm-hmm. Now let me
Yeah.
ask you this, man. So tell me what
But
you
you know what?
feel.
But that's good though what they did. It's just kind of like even Bill Russell. You know, they had the Bill Russell Finals MVP, and like this, they this Kobe Bryant.
So listen, let me ask you, man. What do you think about people saying that LeBron is too arrogant? Do you see that from him, or is he really boastful? Do he strike you as a boastful athlete?
Actually, he does not. I find LeBron to be very, very pretty much giving. He's always trying to share and always trying to blend in. He's optimistic. It comes within plan on the court. So he's always trying to, hey, I'm gonna drive to the lane, and you know what? Shane Battier, take the last game shot. This is to win or lose. Like this is the same person that'll do that. We've seen him do it, and sometimes it's a bit of gamble. Putting faith in people like J.R. Smith. Again, these guys aren't bums there in the league, but what we're saying is, this is what we're talking about when it comes to LeBron. It's not a get the hell out of the way. I'm gonna do it all. Now speaking of late great Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, those guys, that's how it is. Get out of the way, like all of the time. They never even let up from it. Now, is there moments where LeBron understands that, hey, let me take over this game. Let me set the tone. Let me lead. Yes, he does that. Because especially when he starts playing, he decides, hey, I'm about to go all out on defense and offense. And which means if I'm doing all of that, I got 32 points. I got these blocks. I'm stealing. Everybody else has to fall in line. He kind of does it that way while wanting you to get involved. Hey, I'm going to help you get going. Let me help him hit his shot. So what
about off the court? Because it was brought to my attention about this interview that was from back in the day that really, let me just put out there that the person who brought it to me couldn't even tell me the interviewer or where it was at. I couldn't even find it. But just a particular situation where LeBron was just kind of arrogant, and and I've heard people talk about how LeBron might talk about his own stats and his own accomplishments. Maybe he might pat himself on the back from time to time, or say, like when he say my guys, and he talk about the guys on his team or whatever, like his team or whatnot. Like, just off the court.
when he uses the phrase, phrases like my guys and I gotta set the right. He's actually people flip that whole description or that whole when he says that. But what he's really saying is I'm looking at myself first, that if I don't be responsible enough to lead the way, to show how the tone has to be set, then I'm putting it on me, because they're looking at me as my guy. And in essence, yes, he is saying that, hey, I'm the leader of the team. You got to take ownership. Everybody should take ownership of the team. Hey, if I don't do right, then these guys won't follow. And I mean, even Kobe has said that times too. I got to get guys going. I got to make sure, and then we looked at the documentary from the GOAT himself, from MJ. He went to the furthest level everybody went, swinging on people at practice, doing everything else, pushing them. Out of nowhere, there might be a practice, and he coming up next to you and push you down. See how far he can take you. Because what he knew is, I need these guys to be tough, because they're gonna be coming in these lanes, and Big Rick Mahorn, somebody gonna elbow you in your chest, and matter of fact, might actually elbow you in your chin. Lambert been swung on you. Mm-hmm. So I know I need these guys as tough as ever, so I'm gonna push them. See, all of them did it in different ways.
Not according to Bill Lambert, wasn't what everybody says according to Charles Barkley. But anyway, Go ahead. Hey, listen. Let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this. What do you, if you had to put Tom Brady's leadership style and compare it to LeBron's leadership style, can you make a difference or whatever? Like, what's the difference to you, or is it the same?
No, they got different styles. I love both of their styles. I like Tom Brady's leadership too. Tom Brady actually,
how are they different?
he gets go. Well, my thing with Tom Brady is another person, and this is similar. He leads by example too. So he starts. He doesn't nut up when everything gets tight and it gets close. He doesn't freak out. So by his poise and his whole persona when he's in the huddle, they might be down 10 points. It's 2.5 minutes left in the fourth. They need to drive the field. He's still staying calm. And then as they're going and moving down, and he's keeping everybody along, rushing everybody to the line, and he's staying the course. And I believe in the huddles, he will get them pumped up, and he will tell them, "Hey, we can do this. We can make it happen. And y'all can count on me. I'm gonna do my part. Let's make it happen. Everybody just do their assignments and execute." And I think that Tom Brady sets that kind of tone. And I think when they do accomplish, so if they get a touchdown and they do everything, hey, he's getting excited too. I mean, on the outside, you may look at him a little cornball, but actually, he is very, very much one of the guys. He does all the whole get excited, let's get loud when it's time to celebrate and everything else, especially after we accomplish what we're supposed to do. So I think his leadership is the same way. And then I think LeBron, like I said, he takes the ownership. He sets the tone. He leads by example. And I think it's just the whole different way. So I know you probably heard some stuff too about those in comparison and everything else. And people lean too much on this whole ring count. And I'm only bringing that up now because that's what people do. But in reality, what we're talking about, when we start talking about intangibles, that has nothing to do with how many rings each person has. Kobe, Shaq, everything else. Because we're talking about solid intangibles of people that are leaders that help win a final goal of a championship. How many championships? That depends on a lot of things. This is a team sport. This is not Serena Williams, who tried to get to 24 majors, tried to get what I don't know if that's going to happen for her. Tiger Woods trying to catch Jack Nicholson. And I hope he's doing better with his accident and things like that. Those are individual sports. Floyd Mayweather, 50 and 0.
Yeah, right. I just don't like how people just do Tom Brady. Like people don't evaluate like these people are real people. LeBron came from a different background than Tom Brady. He got a different mentality. LeBron never went to college. So how can you hold him at the same level as other people? Even Michael Jordan. He was a college student. He was educated. Look how he speaks. If you just listen to Michael Jordan, he's pretty intelligent.
Correct. And had two parents in the home. And these are the black athletes. We're speaking to that side when we start talking about Michael Jordan,
and that's not to make excuses.
Two parents in the home.
That's not to. I'm not saying that to make no excuses. Let me just make.
Oh no, not
clear.
at all, not at all. But it's just different demographics and different. Hey, we all have different cards that we're dealt in life. The great thing to see is good stories of how people find a way to still make it. You go from, if it's a two-family home with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, who have both parents, Kobe Bryant speaking all these different languages because his father was in the military, and so he traveled, lived in Italy, from whether if it's him versus LeBron, who has a mother, Gloria, who had to sleep in the car for some time, or other relatives to relatives. And so he had to find a father within his high school coach and real brothers because he had no siblings within his basketball team. And then he ends up on the other side of life.
An adult, though, man.
In a good way. All of these stories, whichever way your beginning is, it all ties in together. But I don't see where people, like you just mentioned, like
even as an adult, LeBron has done things different than both of those two people, both of the GOATs, Tom Brady and Michael Jordan. Like LeBron has, and even with the change of times, technology, and everything, people are more motivated to do things that bring them, under the spotlight and everything. Regardless of that, you could just see that LeBron's mentality is just different. He done did more off the court than any of those two people. You know what I mean? Like his desires to help people, it really stands out. And you can't just say that it's of the time because Muhammad Ali was the same way. He didn't just box. He didn't just shut up and punch. You know what I'm saying?
No, he didn't.
But Michael Jordan did. Tom Brady did too. Like they're not known for their off the court involvements and stuff like LeBron. When you think about Tom Brady off the court, you think about him with the MAGA stuff, or just him being a Republican and all that type of. That's all you really know. Or he played golf.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
selfish.
and Michael Jordan, same thing.
Yeah,
he
same
said,
thing.
"Hey, I got to sell my shoes to everyone," and that is business. But when it comes to social issues, through the years, now I'm very proud of Michael Jordan in the last 5 years, honestly,
Yeah,
what
he
he's doing now.
It up.
So that's he's doing a lot of stuff, a lot of philanthropy,
and that's
and setting a lot of things up. He's helping out a lot of people. So again, when you're doing certain things, even if you're at a different point in your life at this point, yes, he's old or whatever else, but hey, that's a good thing. Y'all, hey, if you start doing something better and for other people and you helping out, here it is 20 years later or 25 years later or whatever, and you might not did it at the other time, then I'm still going to celebrate that too because, hey, you turned the corner in that particular way. So that's a good thing for him. But no, that's not what he was known for as far as when he played and everything else. But LeBron has tried to do a more well-rounded thing because I think because he's younger than all of them, I think he learned the lesson.
Listen, what's important about that is that it's at the peak of your spotlight. Right now, you got the world watching you. Your voice is as big as it's going to be right now. Even Michael Jordan got all this money and all of this. His voice was as big as it could be back then when the cameras was on him. So LeBron is using his time right now, just like Muhammad Ali did, to talk about issues that goes on outside of this little basketball that we just play a few days a week. A few hours out the day.
No, that's very that's very important.
People don't think about all of that where they talk about LeBron. They're just so mad because the media done painted this picture of LeBron. They love Michael Jordan so much, and I do too. But I'm not so blind that I can't see that this is a different guy. He's doing things different. It's
a different way. It's a way.
And it's important, man. It's really,
and it's
really
important what he's doing, too. That's the other thing. Is we're not talking about different ways to win, although they have different ways to win, too. Because, like I said, LeBron does the whole thing. If I got to get everybody involved, I understand that in order for us to win. So I might have my 6th man make the last key 8 shots in a 4th quarter. That's not Jordan, but it doesn't matter. But we're not even talking about that. You're right. On a well-rounded level and everything in life, how you affect your community and how you impact people and kids. He's doing that in a very, very strong way. Like you said, right now, while the lights are the brightest and on him the most throughout these 18 years now that it's been of his career and everything being the light being directly on him being the face of the NBA. He's doing that right now.
And he's doing a good job, man.
I hope other people start doing it, too. I hope more players and going over to the NFL, too. I hope people like Patrick Mahomes, while they have the light and as they keep growing, he keeps growing and keeps doing things. People like him,
you just can't have a scandal,
do those
man.
other things.
LeBron don't have a scandal. Even they love Kobe so much. Everybody loved Kobe, and that's great, but he had a scandal. He had something that tarnished that he had to come back from. LeBron has yet to have that. I don't understand why people hate LeBron so much, and he ain't even like my favorite guy. You know what I'm saying? But I don't just hate just to be hating, just because I can see that the media is painted this picture of him ever since he left, like he left Cleveland. They care about these owners so much that just one player is gonna just mess up the whole organization or whatnot when they can do the same thing to the player. I'm on the side of the player. And what's
crazy is, you know what's crazy? I honestly thought they were going to let up off of LeBron when he circled back and said, I'm going to put this to the side. I don't got time to hate this man because it was some horrible things said, horrible character assassination things said by the owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers after he left, enough to where nobody else actually when it came back, no matter what. See, that's another thing. Let me put this to the side. I'm going to come back here because this is where I'm from, and I'm going to set out to do what I said I was going to do and go ahead and get a championship to this team. And yeah, and I'm not gonna say I'm gonna retire from here. He never said that the second time around or nothing. But I'm gonna be here for a while, and I'm gonna make sure we get a championship back here. He did that. I thought that was gonna erase all the bad stuff, like all the stuff you're referring to now. I thought that was gonna do it. That didn't even stop it.
He was the first at doing too many things. They was hating it. They was just hating it. He was on ESPN magazine. He got this Nike deal and all this. They was just hating. He was just winning. They was just trying to dig up some type of scandal. He just too clean. That's how it is for us. When you black, and I hate to try to do it like that, but it's just a reality, man. When you too clean, they got to try to figure something. You just can't be this clean. You black. It's got to be something somewhere. You know what I mean? But it ain't.
Yeah.
LeBron's a stand-up. He's a good father. He's a husband. You don't hear about him doing all of this crazy stuff. He'll smoke a cigar and have a glass of wine. And that's all we know.
Yeah.
If whatever you don't know, then you just don't know. Quit digging so much.
Right.
You know?
And on Uninterrupted, his other show, I think that's the point of him doing that. When you're sitting there and you at the bar, they got the whole bar, they sit in the barbershop chairs and everything. Now, is everybody saying, oh, he's still not letting all of his hair down? Well, actually, he is. And the most you can say, now, here's some people that'll say this. I've heard people nitpick this. And this is to them, they should appreciate it because at least he's being himself. He letting his hair down. Oh, man, I ain't know LeBron cuss like that. Right. Oh, man, like that's the most you'll get. So when he is that, so I think he's being genuine. So when he's in there and he'll cuss and he'll say, man, I felt effed up. Or, hey, I did this, that, and the. Those are things, and again, your best friend or whoever else, or you yourself, whoever it may be, might use those same words. But you can't win for losers. So when he's doing that, he is actually letting his hair down. So he's letting you see a glimpse of that. But like you just said, anything further than him just talking regular on an interview and on these different shows and being open and showing where he stands on social justice issues, and then just personally, and his involvement when he's teaching the kids or whatever, or checking out his son's games, and he's reacting, all of that stuff is actually natural. What else do you want to know beyond that, other than like how me and you've been knowing each other over 20 years? You don't get to know that part and all just to those levels unless you personally knew them. So when you do the judging, like you said, these people, well, where are you going? Where are you pulling this? Where are you pulling the real hatred or the animosity or the judgment from, with that being the case?
Yeah, right.
You don't have to be your favorite player. That's okay. But we talking about this, the judging part, so I get you. It's just, it's something else.
Fair, man, and it's just unfair for him when all people can just talk about is how he cried to the ref or him flopping like Kev be saying. It's just, people just hate, like, or he called himself the king.
Kevin, ATL. He probably was out tonight too.
He embraces the king moniker or whatever, like, people don't like that. But, if nobody can take him down, then why can't he just feel like he the king? Everybody is proud
right,
of what
but I think it's in and you know what? I don't believe it's in I truly don't believe it's in an extreme flaunting bad way.
It's just a nickname, man.
It's just a nickname, and never has LeBron, as the ups and downs, the wins and losses. He has losses on his resume, but it's never a thing of this shouldn't even be happening to me. I'm the best at it. Like, there's never this whole thing at all. He's had taken in stride.
One time,
and he's had to take the criticism with it. All he understands is, hey, let me put together.
Golden State that year, and he flipped out, and that was one episode that he had publicly where he lost his attitude, and but that's the extent of why you couldn't like him. And that was just a person who lost. And
that's crazy. That shouldn't even be a non-liking thing.
Yeah, but I mean,
there is people all through life that we meet, nobody that they react all different in times of when the pressure is on, or when something just, hey, we failed at something. And a person might, like I said, they may cuss, they may go off. Somebody else, they might not want to talk for a while. All of that actually is very normal. We don't get to put perfect parameters around people. Like, I've never had a problem when, for example, Kobe was completely mad because, wait a minute, we're not even making the playoffs no more. He was disgusted those last years of the Lakers and everything. He's like, this is I don't like what's happening to this. This shouldn't be going on in this brand. So something else needs to change and needs to flip. And that's another thing that LeBron has done. We can I guess we can probably wrap it up with this on there and talk a little bit about the some things going on too in the second half of the league. But the last thing I know I wanted to say on this part is that's another thing that he's done yet again. So you go to Miami, like you mentioned, he hasn't had college. He viewed that as his years in college because he definitely had to learn, because that first meltdown on a performance level, he didn't go crazy and throw tables around, but he had a performance meltdown in that Dallas series, right? Yeah. He had to learn from there. So this is to me, he put it on the college level. That was college for me. Those 4 years, they won 2 championships, and that was college. Learned a lot, and from that point forward, he didn't look back. He knew what it was to win. What does he do? Go back home. Push the Golden State Warriors that first year when he got back to 6 games with Matthew Dellavedova as the second run leader. Because Kyrie Irving, remember, you was hurt like you always are. Remember, you won in those last 2 games. LeBron still won 6 games. Next year they went all the way to pushed it to 7 games. By the way, they were down. What were they down? They were down, had to win 3 in a row. And came back on the 7th game. Who does that? And won in Golden State.
Man, I'm just tired of this. I'm just tired of all of the hate. LeBron, these new players, listen. These new players have way bigger brands to promote than anybody from the past. So they're going to be a little more, promoting, self-promoting. That's just what you do. You have to sell yourself.
That's what
they
you
selling
do.
Shoes,
you got these brands.
They selling all kinds of stuff. They're not just hooping. So that's part of the game, and people need to get over it and, let LeBron
That's part of the game.
That's,
yeah.
And until he's
now,
dethroned,
let's talk around the league just a little bit, too, before we get out of here. What are you on? Let's start with the East Coast. What are you liking over there? What you seeing? What teams you really looking at as far as where they are, how they're looking?
My favorite team in the NBA right now is the Charlotte Hornets. I love them. I love the way they play together. They hungry, and they're gonna interrupt, what somebody got, on their plan coming up pretty soon. We're gonna see. I think they're gonna make it to the playoffs, and they might make some noise. As a young team,
okay.
we might be seeing you can't say the second coming of the Warriors, but they got a good special thing happening right now, and I'm happy for Jordan. Other than that, I like Philly looking good. Doc Rivers got something going on with Ben Simmons, I'll say, and Embiid together. So that's key.
Okay. And Philly, by the way, since you brought them up, they are leading the Eastern Conference right now. They got 24 wins and 12 losses.
You can't count out Toronto either. Toronto is you don't see them winning it, but they definitely, you're gonna have to beat them. They're one of those.
You're gonna
teams.
have to beat them. You're gonna have to beat Toronto. You're gonna have to beat Toronto. And see, right now Toronto's in 8th place, but it doesn't mean nothing to me because guess who's in front of them? They got Charlotte, and they got Miami and New York.
And this is all
Let's see if New York holds on. Let's see if New York holds on to that spot, the 5th seed. Really? No. So we got Toronto. They're gonna make some noise on this second half. You know they are on the second half of this season.
Yeah,
come on now.
Sure. It's hunger time, and like I said, this is all without stating the obvious. The Brooklyn Nets. Everybody.
Yeah, Brooklyn Nets are right there, 24-13. Philly only got them by 1 game, J-Ralph. That's it. So they're both pretty much almost tied.
With me, it's not about the amount of games they've won or lost. We know what they're capable of doing over there. So if they in the playoffs, everybody gonna have to, take them down. They're gonna be the team to beat, no matter what place they land in.
And Milwaukee is quietly right there with them too. Like you said, and that's not observed the wins and losses, but that speaks to, and Giannis clown tonight, they're still a solid playoff team. Now they start having their difficulties once they get to the second and third round, but they're gonna be a force to get reckoned with. They get past that first round, depending on who they seed with and who they play, that's going to be very, very
you're gonna have
interesting.
You're going to definitely have to beat Giannis.
You're gonna have to beat Giannis.
But he gonna crumble. I mean, he got to show me otherwise. He's gonna crumble under pressure, and he's not gonna be able to get that big 35-point night tonight when nobody really playing defense anyway. Why you hooping so hard? You know.
Why you hooping so hard? You know you got something to prove. Now look, I'm gonna go to the West Coast, but I'm gonna start from the 11th seed. As of now, we know it's gonna be a turn of the tides here in the second half. This All-Star break is over with. Now it's time to really go to work and go to another level. These teams, they're going to go to another level. We know that over this next month and a half. They're about to go all out for seeding and for the placement that's not a game. So the 11th spot, you got the New Orleans Pelicans, which big Zion Williamson just played his first his NBA All-Star game. And look, Lonzo, who's inspired by his brother, LaMelo, who's over there just doing his thing. He is a young Jason Kidd or something. I don't know how to put my finger on him. LaMelo is definitely special, and I think he's been pushing indirectly his brother Lonzo, because Lonzo's been doing pretty good. So him and Zion over there, they're doing good. So they're at the 11th seed right now. But like I said, they're gonna move up. You got Memphis, then you got Golden State at number 9, Dallas, and you got San Antonio Spurs, who are always in the mix no matter what's going on. Then you got your top 6, Denver at 6. You got Portland. Then you got the Los Angeles Clippers. And then you got the LA Lakers. And then then you got number 2 spot. You got Phoenix, the Phoenix Suns, which everybody's like, oh man, Phoenix haven't been doing it. But listen, they over there balling. They're doing their thing. We'll see. They got to stand packed though, because we know these other teams.
I'm not worried not the least little bit about Phoenix, sir.
You not worried about Phoenix? Well, what about you? Are you worried about Utah Jazz?
They piquing my concern, but I'm not really worried about them either, because they haven't done it. You mad right now, so of course you're gonna be balling. But when it come down to the to the wire, what you gonna do? That's what it's all about. So we're gonna see how they finish.
Because Dame Lillard just showed. I'm not playing, and I believe Denver them guys get a little more happy and get on the street. They can shoot. And then the Clippers ain't even there. Not that I love giving over props to the Clippers, but the Clippers even they're right there. We talking about 3 and 4 spot. Them in LA. LA got to figure out this big man thing. LA's got to figure out this big man thing. Gasol, he wants to keep his big self outside of the 3-point line and get his shot off. I don't know if he thinks he's Anthony Davis, but they really brought you in here to get down on the block and actually, put your back to the basket. Now, does he get some rebounds at times, which he can afford to get some more?
Lillard?
Or stay a little more consistent? Yeah, but all that shooting, so we'll see. But the Lakers, they might have something up their sleeve on grabbing one other person before this agency is over, right before the playoff break, before the playoffs start to get in there. So they really do need to do that to try to make sure they all amped up. And by that time,
do it quick.
We'll see if AD is back.
Chemistry. They need to do it
and everything
quick.
Else. But I'm gonna tell you who I like
before, so that they can get it together and get them some chemistry before these playoffs starts. Because like what you said, these teams that you name, and then they hungry. They tired of LeBron, and they really want. They see LeBron is wounded right now, so they're gonna go for the jugular.
They're going for the jugular. And so you're right, sooner than later, to help that part of the cohesiveness of whoever they get. But I'm gonna tell you who I oh man, I can't believe how much I started relying on him, because man, he's the truth. He really is. Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder. Bro, listen, I really feel like I can count on him. When he gets, the way he cuts through the lane, he kicks it out, he got chemistry with Harold a little bit. He has some chemistry with who else is it? Alex Caruso also. He also finds him and helps him get open, good looks. I like Schroeder. He gets to the lane, and I'm just gonna be honest. Sometimes you can get somebody. Sometimes you're fortunate enough to get somebody that reminds you of another person you had, and but they have their own span. So obviously he's a younger version of Rondo. So I'm saying, when I say Rondo, actually he's obviously quicker with it, and that's just the youth side of it. Now he hasn't won what Rondo has, and we still got to see on the leadership and the other intangibles. But on talent-wise and the athleticism, he slices to the lane, and he has the energy. And like I said, he kicks out. I like his vision on the court. and he can run them sets. He really do allow Anthony Davis and LeBron to roam. That's why them first 20 games of the season, they were so before AD got hurt, the first 20 games. That's why you seen that and you brought him over. It made them too dangerous because he could see the court and he's able to let them guys roam and do what they need to do. And so they need to just get that part of it back.
That's why I was telling you earlier that they can't break up that what they got going on in that front court with LA. I wouldn't touch it at all, and they just need to figure out that box, man. Because Soul is not it. If they mess around and get into the playoffs with what they got now, it's a wrap. They might go out in the first round. And
I hate them to go out like that, coming behind a good win last year.
It's going to prove that what everybody said last year about it was only because they was in the bubble and how the season went down. They can lose and it not be like that. But if they lose like that, first round and just look bad.
If you lose in a bad, embarrassing way, you're right. That's how it will look.
Yeah,
that's how it will look.
That's terrible.
So they can't let that happen. So I'm really, really hoping for that. And again, I'm gonna go back to Philly real quick and say this before we get on out of here. One of the things, because right now, and the reason I'm going back to Philly is because right now they have an edge on MVP just for now on Joel Embiid. And I get it. He's been balling out of control the last 2 weeks, a bunch of games. But I'll agree with my man Stephen A. Smith from First Take, what he said about Doc Rivers. What's interesting is, and this doesn't discredit me that he ain't in the MVP conversation, but it's just, as much as it's great to see this on Embiid, all this stuff, he's back to the basket, he's shooting good. He's shooting from the perimeter, and he's playing back to the basketball, getting down in the block. He's playing good defense. He's not crying. He doesn't have to sit out games because some milk didn't sit well on his stomach and all this old crazy stuff that's been going on, different stuff like that Shaq's been getting on him about. The thing I'll say is somehow Doc Rivers shows up in town and him and Ben Simmons shapes up. See, sometimes I guess it's a new voice that needs to be heard, whatever, because they get together, Doc Rivers, and he's holding them accountable. Listen, man, get your butt down on the block, and you about to be consistent and do what you need to do. You got
that
talent.
Little soul that Doc got. You got to have a little soul, to talk to these boys, man. The soul is popular,
But that's saying he controlling his weight, so you think he even talked to him about his diet too? That's saying he lost a little weight.
But it just so happens that he got a player like Embiid and a player like Simmons. He's just able to bring the best out of them. I mean, it's just that simple. Sometimes, like, you want to win because you with somebody who believe in you in that way. It's just his style. I think that I believe in that, like what Tyronn Lue was doing over there with Kawhi and them. You see it kind of working a little bit better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he just
now what you think about. Now it's funny you mentioned all of this. And you think about him over there with how do you feel Mark Jackson got done? Because I thought he had that kind of inspiration. That's what you just said.
Well, he got, what you mean he got done? He got played. He's commentating for the Warriors now. He's not, he ain't coaching.
How you think that, is that insulting in itself?
Well, it is, but he's taking it well. I mean, he seems pretty cooperative, and he's obviously there. I mean, I think it's just kind of terrible, but hey, I feel bad for him. He had to swallow that pill. That's terrible. I wouldn't be able to do it though. Me, so hey, does that make him a better guy than me?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It would be that's extreme hard pill to swallow, because you're looking at those guys. Even if he stayed there that next year and then he got removed that next year, they still win a championship, that very first one, and he would have been a part of it because he did plant those early seeds.
No way they would have done that though. They saw the potential of this team,
and they handed it over. They handed it over to Steve Kerr, who I like. Who's also, hey, he's part of those 6 championships with the Bulls, and I like him. But at the same time, how that situation went down was with Mark Jackson and the separation of that, it was unfortunate. And it was personal. It wasn't even about the wins and losses. It came out that it was, oh, he wants to travel back and forth. I guess he's a minister. He's in the other city, so he had to travel a little bit. I think it's across L.A.
He didn't
to
feel
one
what
of the
they
other
needed.
cities, and just different things like that. And then there was something else with management too, and that's pretty much what it was on why they made the decision, got rid of him. It wasn't even fully the basketball thing. Like he started losing.
Another
He
job.
had, like I said, he planted good seeds there with Golden State with those guys, Draymond, those young when they were young.
Another job. It almost seemed like he got blackballed over that.
Absolutely, because he can't even get an interview somewhere else, which makes no sense to me. Should have came over here. Should have came over here, even though the brother from Dallas is here now in Houston Rockets. But
and I wish Steph Curry could speak up on it more
for the Houston Rockets.
I wish Steph could speak up on it more to just at least talk about what he did for him. I don't know if I've ever heard that. Not he don't have to say that he feel bad that he got fired or nothing, and that's not disrespecting your new coach, is it?
No, it wouldn't be. But he probably don't want to rock the bro. He's the face of that franchise.
That's why he can.
Sometimes.
Hey, what you gonna do? Trade Steph Curry? Over these years, what you gonna get rid of him? No, you ain't gonna do that.
You're not gonna do it.
So he could have made it a little bit different, I think. But he ain't no LeBron.
I agree.
He's not a big old guy, so it's easier to do that to Steph.
No. But hey, J-Rav, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to get out of here. Hey, this was very interesting. We got a chance to come in tonight and give a little bit of this last part of this All-Star game to the people, as well as some sports analysis that we just went over. Man, we covered a lot of different stuff from the stories on, that partake, the aspect of LeBron and just what's going on around the league, where the standings is, because now, like I said, they're going to turn the heat up. Second half of usually that happens after the All-Star break. So the East and Eastern Conference and Western Conference, this is going to get very interesting over this next 2 months, especially to go into right before playoffs. And so it's going to definitely be some good stuff. And so this week you got Charlotte. They're going to be playing the Thursday. They'll be coming to play the Pistons. That's going to be very interesting. LaMelo is going to get a chance to do his thing on Detroit. So that's going to be good. San Antonio is going to be playing Dallas. That's an in-state rivalry of Texas. And Atlanta Hawks, which they lost their coach. He got fired. We'll get into that story later, but Atlanta's going to be playing the Toronto Raptors. And Philly's playing Chicago. Philly's going to be playing Chicago.
That'll be a good one.
So we'll see what happens with that game. So a lot of games coming up. There's still a lot of basketball to get played on the second half of the season. So definitely look forward to it. This is Real Sports Time with D-MARL on the Talk 100 Network. Special guest, J. Raphael. Also, we also have Talk 100 Network. We have a whole slate of shows that we are actually doing and going to be adding to shows. And as a matter of fact, so every Friday night, tell them a little bit about that show for Friday night that we are part of as well, just so they know.
Talk 100 podcast, where we just be chopping it up about current events and trending topics. And it's at somewhere between 9 and 9:30 every week at Talk the number 1 HUNNID. Check us out. You can check us out on YouTube and also on Twitch at NCG Media. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. And on that website you have the link also for the Real Sports Time page, which also right here on the YouTube channel, and also on Twitter, Facebook, as well as Instagram. So that's it. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. This is D-MARL, J. Ralph.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
No doubt.
And look for some more highlights, more post-game analysis, and some live play-by-play of some of these games, too. It's going to be some select games. So at least one or two games this week coming up this week here, by the end of the week. We'll go ahead and cover that on some live play-by-play and everything. So stay tuned. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the channel, help us grow and all that good stuff.
Sir.
And all the information from everything we just mentioned, from all the links and everything, is in the description. So thanks for listening. We appreciate it. This is D-MARL. We're signing off. J. Ralph.
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
you, brother.
No doubt. Peace out, y'all.
All right. And we're signing off. Real sports
It's real
time.
talk, real perspective
Peace.
on Real Sports Time with D-MARL. Every Monday and Thursday on Talk 100 Network.